Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Last week we looked at using the little Pico case up there all by itself as a self-contained synth, and that was 7 modules and 42 HP of rack space. This time I'm going to be looking at my Pittsburgh structure case, which contains 12 modules and 96 HP. That's 2 rows of 48 HP each. So almost twice as many modules and more than twice the rack space. I think this is going to be a little more challenging because the more options you have, the harder it is to narrow it down to one. But we'll see what we can do. Okay, here's a really simple. The first thing I did, and this is using the key step. And running this thing as a basic mono synth. I wasn't even sure if you could do it, but this is the Warp's internal oscillator. And in order to have the internal CV, I've got it set on the first algorithm, which is crossfade, and there's nothing plugged into channel 2. I have the timbre knob turned all the way over here, so it's faded hard to channel 2, and since there's nothing there, you hear silence. And now the pitch CV from my controller is going into the level input to control the pitch of that oscillator. Now the gate from my controller is going into the signal input on function, and then I'm using the negative slope out into the timbre modulation input on Warps, and what that does is it pushes the crossfade down, essentially giving us VCA style functionality using Warp's internal oscillator by itself. Alright, here's just another really simple one. All I'm doing is sending pitch from the controller into the volts per octave on the sampler, and then the gate from the controller is going into the play gate input, and you pick a sample that's got some, that has some pitched content, so it makes sense. And you can play it with the keyboard. Of course, you can also play other samples and barking dogs. Yep. Oh boy, this one is complicated. Let me see if I can explain what's going on here. Basically, the sequence 8 is running everything. This is my clock source. The clock out is going up here and clocking the 4R random generator. One of those randoms is controlling oscillator 3 of the Trigotronic. The other random is controlling the sample selection on the right side of the STS. Now let's see, one of the CV outputs from the Sequence 8 is going up here into the signal input on function, and I'm using function as a slew or a glide generator to make that signal glide instead of going by discrete steps. The positive output from function is going over here to warps and controlling the pitch of the internal oscillator. The negative output is going down here and is controlling the delay rate of this halfway working delay module. End of rise and end of cycle gates are both going over here, controlling generator 2 and oscillator 1 of the Trigotronic. The Trigotronic's audio output is going into channel 2 of warps, and warps multiplied output, the modulated output is going out to my mixer. Now then, what else? I've got, the other CV output, there's 3 of them, I'm using 2. The other CV output is going up here to the SPO, where I have attenuated it to the negative side. I've polarized it negative so it slopes down instead of up. And it is going in here to the volts per octave input, controlling the pitch of samples on the right side of the STS. I'm also using some step triggers. Well, I guess these are actually gates, but each one of these gates is on when the light is on, and it steps through them in sequence. Anyway, this one is going in here and is gating generator 1 on the Trigotronic. This one is triggering the left side of the STS, where I have a drum loop that I meticulously trimmed. There was some back and forth twiddling with the clock rate over here and the sample speed over here to get this drum loop to sync up with the sequence loop. And that drum loop is coming out and going direct to my mix. This one is triggering the other side of the STS. And I think that's everything. Fingers crossed that the drum loop and the sequencer have not gone out of phase while I was talking. Hoping they're still synchronized. Let's hear what it sounds like. Yeah, it's still matching up pretty good. Now, of course, that's warps, and that's the drum loop on this side, and that's the other samples playing on this side. With this many modules, there's almost an infinite. It would take a long time, a lifetime, to go through every possible combination. I've showed you 3. There are many more possibilities, but we've run out of time for this week. So, until next week, I bid you adieu. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you find this kind of thing interesting. And always, much gratitude to my patrons who paid for most of this stuff. If you're not a patron yet and you want to be a cool person, The link is in the description below, as well as my Ko-fi.com and my Patreon. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.